So I'm officially caught up, and I have to be honest, something feels off about this season for me. They say he chooses victims who are being haunted by something. He forces them to relive the worst moments of their life before they die. Not again. I can't do this again.
Not again. Not again.
Joe, you cannot escape me.
Before I get started, I'd like to kindly ask that you hit the like button, and please subscribe to the channel for more content just like this.
All I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
So I just finished part 1 of season 4 of Stranger Things, and this will be my thoughts on episodes 5, 6, and 7 for that season. After episode 4, I had my reservations, but I was confident that all of my issues would work themselves out at some point.
Get the fuck out of here! No, I cannot, it's serious!
The truth is that there is a lot to love about season 4 of Stranger Things. I think the biggest W so far has been everything about Vecna. Just the whole concept around him, his motives, his design, everything works for me. We do learn a lot about him in these last few episodes, in 7 specifically. In fact, we basically get an entire origin story told through Eleven's flashbacks and Nancy's visions.
No shit.
It's revealed in episode 7 that Vecna was in fact Victor's son in his human form. And he basically killed his mother and sister with 11-like powers, and his father got the blame for it. Through one way or another, Papa eventually got a hold of him, and this was the origin of the whole superpowered kids program that 11 is a part of. Because Papa quickly found out that he couldn't control one, so he set out to either find someone like him or create someone like him. And this is where 11 herself comes into play.
That makes sense.
We get to see a lot of her time in that facility that we only really got parts of in previous flashbacks from other seasons. And a big part of me feels like it should have been left at those brief flashbacks. Not only does telling this whole story of her origin this season feel a bit redundant to me, I also can't help but feel that they are revealing too much about her. The appeal of her, and Vecna for that matter, is the mystery that surrounds both of their characters. Now, I'm not saying that they necessarily ruined either one of those characters, but I've always been of the opinion that less is more.
Why?
And while making a direct connection between them is somewhat interesting, I'm not sure that it's the best course for their individual character arcs. By the way, it was also revealed that one was responsible for the youngling massacre that we've seen at the beginning of this season.
Oh shit!
So after teasing a concept that was very interesting to me, they kind of let 11 off the hook here. I like the idea that she had a dark side inside of her, but I guess the creators felt like she needed to look more heroic. So again, some of that complexity that came with her character is gone now. Also, I have to be honest with you, the whole Russia storyline, I could care less about it. It feels like filler at this point, and the whole Hopper situation has just been drug out way too long. The truth is that that whole situation could have been wrapped up in one episode if we're being honest with ourselves.
I don't care!
Also, I have to mention this again because it bothers me more and more each episode. Why does the core group of kids feel like an afterthought this season? In many ways, it feels like the original 4 are just kind of floating around this season, like one of Vecna's victims. Mike and Will specifically, like what are they even doing this season? The answer is nothing. It just seems like a weird creative decision considering those two characters were basically the focal point of the much better season 1 and season 2.
What the hell am I looking at? When does this happen in the movie?
Dustin and Lucas have a little bit more to do than the other two, but when it comes right down to it, they don't seem to be contributing that much either. Dustin finally gets his Dustin moment when he figures out that there are more gates being opened up by Vecna all across Hawkins. But right after that, he feels sidelined again, and Nancy, Robin, Eddie, and Steve seem to have all the fun. I will admit that the light bright scene was very Stranger Things, and it reminded me of the vibe of the early seasons.
I like it a lot.
On a high note, Steve does finally get something to do other than just chasing women this season. First, they tease him dying after he gets pulled into the Upside Down, but then all of the stuff with him and the other three in the Upside Down was probably my favorite part of these 3 episodes. Imagine that, 4 people dealing with this other dimension. Sometimes back to basics is the way to go. Full disclosure, I just got done a rewatch of all the seasons of Stranger Things, so everything is very fresh in my mind right now. And in my opinion, they have just not been able to recapture the magic of those first 2 seasons.
Move this man!
Even on the rewatch, I was full-blown locked in on those first 2 seasons. But with season 4, similar to how I felt with season 3, I felt myself checking out from time to time. I almost feel like there's too much going on and it's disrupting the chemistry that made the show popular. It doesn't help that they keep splitting the characters up into these separate groups, and they never seem to reconvene until the end of the season. My thoughts on season 4 is that maybe bigger isn't necessarily better.
Then why the fuck didn't you say so?
Maybe keeping things in Hawkins instead of taking the show a bit more global would have been a better option here. Either way, the more I watch season 4, it's turning out more and more to be like season 3. I'm being patient, but we only have 2 episodes left, and granted, they're longer episodes. But I just don't feel as satisfied by or connected to this story as I previously was. And to be clear, I'm not saying that this show is bad. It's actually pretty well written, I think. Let me put it this way, it's better than most of the shit that I watch.
Fuck you!
But there's definitely some issues here that I feel like people are overlooking because they want so badly to like this show. And I understand that because I do too. But I wouldn't be me if I didn't point these things out and say things that maybe other people aren't willing to say. A lot of people told me that the show gets really good by episode 7. I will admit episode 7 is definitely one of the better episodes this season. But prior to that episode, I did feel my interest starting to dwindle. Obviously, I still want to see how it all turns out. I just hope that the creators realized that things needed to be tightened up a little bit, and maybe we can get this show back to form.
Either way, I don't give a damn what you think you are entitled to.
Y'all be cool. Right on.